Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, 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 everyone. Oopsie. I am trying to get myself together here, and boy, is it interesting. I'll pick it up. Hey, y'all. Hope y'all are doing well. I am my little stand for my camera is giving me the blues. So please excuse me for a minute while I figure this out. Let's see. Hi, Tiana. Thank you. I wonder who recognizes what this background is from, because this background is from probably my favorite show of all time. And that's really hard for me to say because I have two shows that are kind of my favorite shows of all time. But I give this one an edge just a little bit because I was watching this one. I was watching this one when I was younger. And since I was watching it when I was younger, the other show I couldn't watch when I was younger because it was not appropriate. So it was not appropriate for me. So anywho, my little doohickey is not, it's giving me the blues for Instagram Live. So all my folks on Instagram, I am so sorry that you are looking at this and it is looking really crazy and acting crazy. I hope it will settle in a second. There we go. Maybe if I put it like this, cause this to, nope. Props. All right, y'all. Welcome to Sound Off Saturday. Thank y'all for joining me. This is the last Sound Off Saturday of the year because next Saturday is Christmas and I won't be on here live doing a sound off. I might be on social media live, but I certainly won't be on here doing what I'm doing today or what I normally do. So thank y'all for joining me. I'm still looking for one more thing. I know I'm still looking for one more thing to prop my camera up. So I'm sorry I'm taking so long. I really do apologize. I should have had this all set and ready to go. If I could just get one little object right here. Yes, there we go. I'm all set. So my apologies. I'm going to have to look here for IG and I'm going to have to look here for Facebook. I'm going to have to look back and forth. So welcome to Sound Off Saturday. I didn't know if I was going to do this one today anyway, because I know a lot of people are out Christmas shopping and things like that. And we were kind of out and about a little bit earlier too. So y'all see my curls a little bit for the Pure Bella Naturals. I'm not sure why some of y'all haven't tried that yet, but I'm still an ambassador for Pure Bella Naturals. So if you're looking for something to help your natural texture hair with its curls, with its shine, Pure Bella Naturals is for you. And I have a code for you, January Amber's 10, that you can use to get a discount. So hopefully you take advantage of that before the end of the year, because I'm sure the site is going to have some great sales. And I would love to have you try their products because they are good. So anyway, welcome y'all to Sound Off Saturday. Welcome. I definitely have a few items to talk about today, but like I said, this is going to be my last one for the year. And then I am going to kind of do some reevaluating in 2022 because listen, life has picked up tremendously for all of us, right? Some of us are back at work full time, some of us are back in school full time, whatever it is that you were doing. That you probably were not doing full time. Many of us are back doing those things. If you run or operate anything, if you're in any kind of leadership position anywhere, all of that. And so, life is picking back up, it's getting busy. And so I'm not 100% sure in 2022 if I'm going to be doing this every Saturday. It's possible that my Sound Off Saturdays may be a specific Saturday. Maybe it's 2 Saturdays a month. Maybe it's the third Saturday. Whatever it is, I'm going to pick it and I'm going to be there consistently. Hi, Mom. Hello. So that is that. Okay. But I have a lot to talk about today. So where are my IG people at? I know a lot of people are out and about and shopping. That's what I'm saying. Like I know people are out and about and doing stuff. And so I just want to, I was trying to give people a minute to get on. But again, it's kind of hard when, when people are out and about and they're doing things. And I get it. Today just happened to be a day where we really rested. Yes. My mom guessed where my background was. So if you're on IG, you can't see my background, but my background on Facebook is the Golden Girls living room, because not only is the Golden Girls my favorite show of all time, I always say my favorite shows are Golden Girls and Martin. It's hard to choose, but I give Golden Girls a slight edge because I've been watching that one longer. I was watching that as a child. I couldn't watch Martin as a child, right? I mean, number one, it was not appropriate, but Golden Girls has been on longer. So anyway, I digress. Betty White turns 100 in January. I believe her birthday is January 11th. I know. I should know that, right? So they're planning a big thing for her. Most of it is going to be virtual and televised and all of that. And then I don't know if some of you have seen that there's a Murdery Mr. Dinner Theater in Pennsylvania that is based off of an episode of the Golden Girls that they went to. There's also a Golden Girls Comic-Con convention in April of next year. So, oh my goodness. Hi, Tasha. How are you? So there's so many things going on next year surrounding Betty White, and it's definitely going to be an ode or a lean to the Golden Girls in general. So if you're on Facebook, like I said, you see my Golden Girls background, but my IG people don't see that. So sorry about that. Anyway, let me go on to talk about, I have just a couple things to talk about in my handy dandy notebook, as Steve used to say on Blue's Clues. And then I will get out of all of you all's hair and let you have the rest of your Saturday. So, there's a couple things that have been happening, right? Yeah, Ma, I really do want to go to the convention. It's in Chicago. It's going to be in Chicago, which is perfect because Chicago also has a new exhibit that is literally the set of The Office, the TV show. So that could be like a twofer. And then maybe we can go to Kill My Name, which is, that's the restaurant Tabitha Brown opened in LA, but the original one is in Chicago. So that would be great too. Anyway, I'm talking about all kind of stuff. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to get all this money from because there's a whole lot of stuff going on next year related to that. Hey, Mike. So let's go. Let me talk about a couple things today. And like I said, then I'll get out of your hair. First and foremost, the twins turned 13 yesterday. So Taylor and Tatum Galt are 13 years old officially. And it really, seems a little unreal. But here we are. I am the mother of 2 teenagers. And at some point, I'll be the mother of 3 teenagers at one time. And I'm not really even sure how that works. When I think about all the people who have like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 kids, I can't even fathom the teenage years with all of those kids, just because it's a, the teenage years are difficult times. Middle school is definitely a difficult time. And that's when the teenage years start. They don't start in high school. Most of them start in middle school, and it's a difficult time. Kids trying to figure out who they are, what they like, what they don't like, trying to fit in or not fit in, all kind of things going on. So yeah, and then Trinity thinks she's a whole teenager too. So that's a whole thing in and of itself. Anyway, they had fun last night. A few of their friends from school, we met up at a bowling alley in Manassas, which is a bowling alley that also has laser tag and billiards and arcade and so many things in there, in a restaurant. And I think they had a really great time. So that was really fun. I wish I could have invited more people, but I mean, you know how it is. First of all, it's COVID. Second of all, it's not easy trying to coordinate different things. And it almost didn't happen anyway, because the bowling alley was trying to give me a hard time at the last minute for a reservation I had all the way 3 weeks ago. But nevertheless, we did it and it was great. And we are planning to do some other things coming up. Because I know some other family and friends want to celebrate with the girls too. So, we're going to have a birthday dinner at some point. Today we're going to do cake and ice creams. We didn't do that yesterday because you can't bring outside food to the bowling alley, all those great things. So we're definitely going to get those things going. And I think next year, because Tatum has been begging me. Oh, thank you, Bernie. She's been begging me to be a part of Sound Off Saturday. So somehow next year for my first one, whenever it is, I'll definitely get them on. If they both want to come on, I know Tatum wants to come on for sure, but if they both want to, I'll somehow rope them into these hot topics as much as possible. All right, so let's go. So there's it's been 2 challenges on IG, on TikTok. The first challenge that I saw was the Can We Talk challenge. Can We Talk, you all know, is the song that Tevin Campbell is most famous for. And when he was singing that, he was a young boy. So, I mean, his voice was incredible back then. His voice is still incredible now. Don't sleep. If you follow Tevin Campbell, if you've seen him in any of his performances lately, mostly small performances, he still has a great, great, great voice. Anyway, but Tank, the R&B artist Tank, is the one who issued the challenge, not Tevin Campbell. So Tank came on and he sang it. And his thing was, you're not a real R&B artist if you can't sing this song full voice. And Can We Talk is really high. And in one of the groups I'm in on Facebook, we all chimed in with our challenge. It was really funny. It was pretty cool. But there's a lot of different people that jumped in, not just R&B artists, but gospel artists, country singers, a whole bunch of people. He just took it by storm. And then it got to be too much and people are wearing it out and all that. But the good news is a lot of people who didn't know who Tevin Campbell is, because they're in different generations, now that caused them to go look up Tevin Campbell. And, now some of his songs are being streamed more and all that. So these verses, these challenges, versus celebrations, all these things are really cool for artists who haven't maybe been in the limelight lately, because they are it's kind of like a refresher, for everybody. So, oh my gosh, I heard that song before, but I never really knew about it. And I'm gonna tell you the funny thing. The funny thing is, Tank was, after he issued the challenge, he was definitely the least of the singers in the group, because between a guy named Jarrell Quinn, Jonathan Nelson, oh my goodness, I'm thinking of people that I really liked, Crystal Rucker, Anthony Anderson even did a good job. Seriously, he's an actor. He has a decent voice. Some funny people that joined in, Affion Crockett. Some people joined in, it was a joke, but then some people joined in, they had a crazy voice. Darlene McCoy. So many people that jumped in, and it just was really good, and it was really fun. And I was like, "Ooh, Tank, you issued this challenge, but surely he was definitely outsang, I guess, by so many other people." Anyway, the other challenge that was on the socials this week was the jerk challenge. So Let me tell you something that is so funny about the jerk and me. The jerk is a dance I have never been able to do. And I don't know why, because I can dance. And I'm not just saying like I can dance like being funny or being boastful. First of all, I'm from Detroit. There are very few people from the D that cannot dance in some way, shape, or form. If they dance is one question, but not being able to is another. I'm talking about there's all type of dances, and I'm a dancer. I can dance. I can do all these moves. And the jerk is something I've never been able to do. And it was just getting on my nerves watching all of these people do the jerk of all races and ethnicities. And here I am and I can't do it. And I was telling Corey, I said, this is ridiculous. I'm upset about this. Like, and the jerk is not anything new anyway. It's just been a challenge out because it's like, a lot of young folks trying to teach their mamas and aunties and cousins and stuff how to do it. Well, at this point, I'm in the auntie category because I'm over 40, which is weird in and of itself. Whatever. But I've been trying. Corey keeps saying, don't you tear nothing and blah, blah, blah. Don't, doing all this crazy stuff. I got up. So last night, I did it. I'm not going to get up and do it right now, but I'm going to make a video and I'm going to post it and I'm going to show you that I did it. And the only way that I actually got it was this. There's a lady on Instagram. I think some of you may have heard of her. Her name is Marie Bustin' Moves. That's her whole tag name, Marie Bustin' Moves. Anyway, she had everybody doing this like 90s challenge, like in the summertime. And I posted a video about that too. Anyway, she made a video and said that if you can do the Roger Rabbit, and here I am dating myself and all this because the 90s was everything. But if you can do the Roger Rabbit, you can do the jerk. Because that's essentially what it is, but there's a slightly different step. And I never thought about. So when I did the Roger Rabbit last night, and I did do it, and I was out of breath and I was tired. But once I did it, it's like something clicked in my head with the next step to make it the jerk. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Anyway, so I know I'm the only one excited about that, but I am. It's fun. And it's a whole lot of people on here struggling to do this jerk challenge. And I refuse to post my struggle video, but I'm definitely going to post a video now that I know how to do it. Y'all was not going to see me struggling doing that because then people would think I can't dance. The Roger Rabbit, though, Mike, but when she said it, I was like, but it's not the same thing. But that's not what she was saying. What she was saying is if you kind of start off doing like if you're having trouble, if you start off doing the Roger Rabbit, then you can kind of slide right into the. And I did. It was perfect. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna get a video together at some point and post it for y'all to see because I just like it. Anyway, Mom, we know about that. No, not the. Look here, Mike, here goes my mom on Facebook. Not the cool jerk. Not the cool jerk. There is a different dance that kind of looks like you're skipping backwards called the jerk. It is not the cool jerk. It's not that jerk. This is a different one. And it's from years ago. It's not even new. It's just that the challenge popped up because of TikTok. So no, it's not that. It's not that. Anyway, so those were the fun challenges that happened this week. All right, let's talk a little bit about Deion Sanders, right? Prime time. Deion Sanders, Jackson State, HBCUs, and he has upset the whole world. So Deion Sanders, who everybody knows as Prime Time, from the NFL, y'all know he's been coaching at Jackson State, these last few years or whatever. Very, very, very recent position. Jackson State is a historically Black college or university, which we call HBCUs. And we have some other ex-NFL players that are helping out in the HBCU world too. I believe Eddie George is, and there's like two other people. Now, Deion Sanders himself did not go to an HBCU. He went to Florida State University. The Seminoles, I don't know what their mascot is. I don't care. Anyway, but he upset the whole sports world recently because the number one draft pick, college draft pick, chose to go to Jackson State. And everybody is mad. Well, everybody is not mad, but I'm going to tell you who is mad. There are a lot of people who I have said this on here before, but a long time ago, there are a lot, these schools, as Corey reminds me, these schools like, Alabama, the Ohio State, Ole Miss, the schools I'm talking about. These schools have traditionally gotten their names on the backs of mostly Black players. I said it. They have made a name for themselves on the backs of Black players, all while some of those players faced extreme racism and discrimination while going to the school. But what happens is, it's like a lot of people think that you can't really get anywhere, maybe professionally, if you don't go to those schools. And so there was a time where players shifted to going to the Alabamas under Nick Saban and the Dukes for basketball under Mike Krzyzewski and Ole Miss and Clemson and the Ohio State and all of that. And there's nothing wrong with those schools in general. But there are some schools that have a very toxic culture toward Black people, and it has always had a toxic culture toward Black people, but people still sent their kids there anyway. People still made them go play football there anyway, because that's where many of the endorsements, the scholarships, that's where the TV cameras were following them. And so I'm not saying I can't fault the parents who wanted their kids to have better opportunities. And so, yeah, sure, going to Alabama under Nick Saban maybe looks better than going to a Jackson State or Norfolk State or whatever. But I heard somebody say this a long time ago, and I heard Shannon Sharp corroborate this before this happened with Deion. So here's what I heard years ago, and here's what I heard Shannon Sharp say years ago also. If you're good enough, they will find you. Okay? If you are good enough, you will be found. That's what a good talent scout looks for. A good talent scout goes everywhere. A good talent scout goes to the least location to find the best, because if everybody's running to the Alabamas, if everybody's running to the Clemsons, if everybody's running to the Ole Misses, then 50 talent scouts at one school is going to be scrambling and fighting to who's going to get the next person that's going to be the next big thing in the NFL, right? I really do believe that. I believe that if you're good enough, you will be found, no matter where you are. And I believe that same thing can be applied to ministry. If whatever it is that God has for you to do, it doesn't matter if your church only got 2 members. Whatever God has for you to do is going to be done. You will get recognized. You will get all those things. And I have to remind myself a lot of that. I say the same things in education. Doesn't matter if you only work at the Ron Clark Academy School, which is a very well-known, very, very, very great school to matriculate, but you don't just have to be at the Ron Clark Academy to be recognized and to be great. And so Deion Sanders and this number one draft pick, this college draft pick, I know his first name is Travis, but I don't know his last name, is shaking up the world. And it has all the racists pulling out all the normal things that they typically do. Where would Deion Sanders be without Florida State? He's an ungrateful N-word. Oh, yeah, it's all coming out. It's the same people that hide behind their support in sports. See, they support these Black people in sports as long as they go into the schools they want them to do, as long as they saying what they want them to do and doing what they want them to do. But once they decide they're going to do something for themselves or their people, then this is when all the N-words and stuff fly out, right? So it's interesting. I mean, people are burning Deion's jersey. You were never a Florida State supporter anyway. You never helped Florida State do anything. I'm sorry, what? What? So all of these people now have all this angst and frustration with Deion that he would bring the number one draft pick to Jackson State University. Little old HBCU Jackson State. Now, I get it. Every HBCU doesn't have a prime time. They don't have a Deion Sanders. I get it. The Howards, the Norfolks, the Morehouses, the the Central States, the Talladega Techs, the Tennessee State. I know every HBCU doesn't have a prime time. I'm not saying that, I recognize that he is a little bit of an anomaly, but what is happening is there's a shift. People want to go to schools. They want to go work in places. They want to go worship in places. They want to go eat in places. They want to go watch movies in places. They want to buy their products in places where they are appreciated for who they are and not just for the monetary gain that can be got from them. So let me say that again. People want to go places. They want to spend their money in places. They want to work in places. They want to worship in places where it is not just about the money, but it's really about who I am. And for the longest time, I hate to say it, and people know this is true, these schools, the Alabamas, the Ole Misses, they have Black folks have been just a commodity for them. That's it. That's it. Because when you stop playing ball there, when you stop going to school there, they call you all kind of N-words. Some of them same players, while they were going to school in some of those places, would turn around and go to a frat party on campus and see a noose hanging at the party with their jersey number on. That's how you know that they're nothing to them. And this is nothing new. It's nothing new that people of color, especially Black people, have been used as a commodity almost all of our lives, especially here in America. A commodity for slavery, then a commodity for this, a commodity for birthing babies, a commodity for taking care of babies. Then we turn into a commodity for entertainment, right? We're the singers, we're the dancers, we're the performers, we're the vocalists. Then a commodity in sports. Get the Black folks to run the ball, get them to do. We are only a commodity to some people. And at Deion Sanders' point, and so many others, is that we need to start investing in ourselves and who we are and our folks and go where we are appreciated. Now, if all of a sudden the University of Alabama and Nick Saban's program decides that they want to start really appreciating folks and making sure that those same sports players that are on the field are not then being discriminated against and everything else later, then great. Go back there. But otherwise, we got to start. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we need to create these societies where we don't intertwine with some people. There are some people who believe races shouldn't mix at all. I'm not one of those people. But what I am saying is we need to stop going places where people really don't want us, because all they're doing is using us anyway. What would the University of Alabama be? What would Ole Miss be? What would it be? What would it be? What would the NFL be? What would Major League Baseball be? We're not talking about these. What would the NBA be? I'm just asking questions, and people know the answer to this, but it's about high time that somebody like Deion Sanders and anybody else put these kind of things in motion. We got to support our HBCUs, send your kids to those HBCUs, and guess what will happen? I know you're saying, oh, but Jamila, the scholarships are not there, the cameras are not there. If you send all these good kids like this number one draft pick to those schools, guess what's going to happen? The camera's going to go from here to here. The scholarship's going to go from here to here. The endorsement's going to go from here. They're going to move the money. They're going to move the coverage. They're going to move everything that they need to move, because at the end of the day, it's still all about money. That's what it's about. So I am happy for this young brother going to Jackson State. I'm happy for Deion, and he has committed to helping some other. Hey, Dathan, how are you? He is committed to having some more conversations with other NFL greats, about putting our energy into our schools also. And just at the end of the day, making sure that we're viewed as more than a commodity. That's the whole point. Even if you're going to stay at an Alabama or you're going to stay at an Ole Miss, you just can't be a commodity. You just can't be this body, and when we're done with you, we just throw you away. So I'm happy for this young brother, and I'm happy for Deion. I'm happy for what he's doing. Eddie George has also been very instrumental in HBCUs, all of it. Hey, Cynthia. So I'm just glad about it. And I'm not here to talk down about anybody who did not go to an HBCU at all. If you went to a PWI, as we call them, or a non-HBCU, great for you. I'm not even here to talk to you about if you didn't go to school at all. But here, let me tell you what I am going to always do, and I'm going to be me forever. Historically Black colleges and universities will always fly out of my mouth first over anything else. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You can be mad about it all you want to. I am a graduate of Howard University, and I will always stand for HBCUs, and I will always encourage us to choose HBCUs over any other schools. Our schools have just as great programs, just as great majors, just as great scholarships and opportunities. But at some point, sometimes we've listened to others to make those decisions. However, it is what it is. You went where you went, you did what you did, and that's fine. And it's all good. But I am always going to support HBCUs. And we don't have perfect schools, but Harvard and Ole Miss and Alabama, none of those schools are perfect either. So while we can talk all day long about what's wrong with HBCUs, but we don't make the same laundry list when it comes to other schools. I'm getting ready to get worked up again, because I heard a lot of people, and yes, when my alma mater was under fire, Howard University, about the housing situation and what was happening, you don't even know. I was emailing, I was calling as an alum who gives regularly, saying, what is going on? How can we help these kids? What are y'all doing? We were involved, and we were supporting those kids, and they did get what they needed ultimately. And some other stuff went on in between that everyone is not privy to, but again, that same situation happened about 3 years ago at Harvard, but nobody was talking about it. They had a mold situation at their school too. You see where this is going. Anyway, I'm just here making some points. Yes, South Carolina State, Cynthia. Yes. So anyway, I am really happy for him, and I hope that this starts a trend. I hope that this starts a trend in just the pride of our schools, the pride of who we are, and not allowing ourselves to just be used and abused in the name of sports, in the name of entertainment, in the name of whatever, ministry. That happens in the church too. People get used and abused in the name of that too. So I'm just hoping and praying that we just remember to invest in ourselves the same way we help these schools invest in themselves. Okay. All right. So let me keep going. Let me keep going here. There were on yesterday, which was my twin's 13th birthday. I already talked about that. But there was a big threat across the United States. There was, I believe it originated from TikTok, but I'm not 100% sure. The threat was that something was going to happen at some high schools by way of a shooting or something like that. So I learned that a lot of kids stayed home. Now, that didn't necessarily happen at my school, particularly because I was at an elementary school, and I thought the threat was just to high schools. And we did get a message from our superintendent about it. But then as I was reading more about it and seeing more things on Facebook, apparently it was at elementary, middle, and high school level. And it's just, again, it's a sad state of affairs. And I hope and pray we don't go into 2022 with this mess. I really hope and pray that this Oxford, Michigan shooting was the last straw for some people who have been dragging their behinds in Congress doing absolutely nothing. I pray it was the last straw. It may not be the last straw, but we can't be waking up every single day scared to go to school. Educators can't feel that way, and kids can't feel that way. There's no way to operate. We already are having to deal with COVID in school. So we can't be wondering if someone's going to be up there with guns or whatever. And it's certainly arming teachers is not the answer either. It's not the wild, wild west. We can't just be in here vigilante style, flinching every 5 minutes trying to see what's going on. So I really do hope that something happens in response to this. I haven't heard much talk about it, and I really do hope that something happens. And as far as I know, none of those threats were viable and nothing was carried out. Maybe it was just a scare tactic. So all the kids to stay home, sure, good for you. My kids went to school, but at least nothing happened. And again, I really do hope and pray we don't go into 2022 with this, because public school is never going to be the same anyway. But I sure hope we don't have to go in with this kind of baggage and dealing with this kind of stuff. All right, so I want to talk about something I didn't actually see until today, but you all may know Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne has a new nightly show that I have not watched a full single episode yet. I have only seen clips, mostly commercials. Not that I don't like Charlemagne. I like Charlemagne. I just haven't watched his show yet, just like I haven't watched Nick Cannon's show either. But he had our vice president on his show. Wow. Right? I mean, Charlemagne is doing big things. You know, Charlemagne's from the Breakfast Club. If those of you are familiar with the Breakfast Club with Angela Yee and DJ Envy. But I absolutely believe the only reason he got Kamala on there is because he's Black. I just don't see her doing a whole lot of like kind of random interviews like this. But I'm glad she went, and I'm glad she participated, because sometimes, although Charlemagne can be the donkey of the day himself, in my opinion, Charlemagne can ask some good questions. You know, I think he's very intellectual. He has some good thoughts and ideas, and he asked some hard questions. He had some good questions. He had a good exchange. I think he had a good exchange. And at some point, it got a little heated. I think our vice president, Kamala Harris, my sorority sister, my fellow Bison alum from Howard University, I think she got a little upset with him about the question he asked. And basically what he was saying was, is Manchin the president, or is Joe Biden the president? Right? Citing just, that maybe we haven't seen Joe Biden in action enough, and it seems like a lot that's coming out is coming from other people, specifically. I know I'm saying his name wrong, Manchin, as far as directives and things like that. And she was like, oh, no. It's so funny because she went from being like this on the camera and the stew to, oh no, the shoulder, honey, when the shoulders slouch, the tone is different. Okay. When I'm sitting up and I'm on a Zoom session like this and I'm, interactive. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I'll check on that right now. Yes, I do that. But as soon as somebody says something sideways and you see that body go like this, everything is different. The tide has shifted. Honey, when her shoulders went down, her hands came up, and she said, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Oh, no, this is what we're not going to do is we did Joe Biden. She said, Joe Biden is the president, and I am the vice president. It got real kind of sticky. But I'm glad that he asked the question, because a lot of people have been saying that they feel like we haven't really seen her, and she's kind of been out of the limelight, and, since they've been in office and everything like that, right? That we haven't really heard much from her. And I agree, we haven't. But when I look back historically, and I'm not just saying this because Kamala is my sorority sister and or my fellow Bison alum, but when we look back historically, did we see a lot of the other vice presidents when somebody was president? No, we did not. We did not. We didn't see Mike Pence that much. The most we saw of Mike Pence was when that fly was on his head at that debate. We didn't see Mike Pence. Did we see Joe? We didn't even see Joe Biden that much when Obama was president. We saw Joe in a couple pictures, in a couple smooth pictures. We saw him rolling up on a couple college campuses, and so on and so forth. Back to Clinton's era and Bush son's era and Daddy Bush. We didn't see the vice presidents in action. We haven't really seen a lot of the vice presidents in action in any of these presidencies. So my expectation was not that all of a sudden we was going to see Kamala a lot because she's a woman and because she's the vice president. I thought it was going to be the same as anything else. I don't know why we thought that, but I do know why. And one reason is this: from Obama's administration on, started the presidency being alive and well through social media. Okay. President Obama started that first. It wasn't Donald Trump, but President Obama started he would tweet different things, getting ready to sign this bill, getting ready to sign that bill. He had a Facebook page, he had an IG page, things like that. And so we've been so engaged since 2008 which is crazy because my children prior to Donald Trump only knew a Black president. That's amazing. But we've been so programmed since 2008 to think that the president and the vice president is going to be interacting on social media all the time, tweeting in the middle of the night about who getting on their nerves and those sort of things, that we do forget that, you know, that these positions are a little bit more prestigious. I'm not saying we're not prestigious here, but a little bit more prestigious than sitting on here and jumping on my, you know, just jumping online and doing stuff. And I am still looking for some things to happen too. I'm looking for promises to be made. I want student loan debt canceled. And I'm not kidding about this. I want to cancel today and I want to cancel now, just like those commercials. Because that was something that came out in the campaign trail. And if they can't figure out how to cancel everybody's student debt, then maybe they need to say if you owe $50,000 or less, is canceled. $30,000 and less is canceled. They need to do something, because there is a group of students who are in debt for the rest of their life because they, like I did, chose to educate myself beyond high school, and it shouldn't be like that, right? I think that public service people should have their debts canceled immediately. I think teachers need to have their debts canceled today. I think anyone else in public service, healthcare workers, debts need to be canceled today. I mean, we got to make some kind of progress here. I'm also looking for increased teacher pay. That's something else that they both ran on. So I'm looking for things that I haven't seen yet either. So don't get me wrong. I'm not here saying they're doing everything perfectly. They're doing everything right. But what I am saying is I think some of our expectations, just like people thought when Obama was president, all of a sudden he was going to have a cookout on the front lawn and you was going to go up there with your plate and get 2 ribs, a scoop of potato salad, some macaroni and cheese, and a Pepsi. And that wasn't going to happen. That was never the plan anyway. Everyone sitting in that office has to be a president for all people, right? And so, yes, they need to include everyone, and they need to also target those who have been traditionally pushed back and marginalized and, not looked out for. So I'm not saying that they don't have work to do. I'm just saying that they have work to do, and they have work to do. That is what I'm saying. They do have work to do. And I am looking for some more things to show up in 2022, period. Because I'm tired of getting messages from the U.S. Department of Education about my student loan. At this point, my student loan is very small. I really wish I could just suck it up and just drop, some big chunks on it, because I could be done with it probably in another year or two if I did that. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to start back paying it, period. So I'm looking for answers. All right, let me move on. I'm going to talk about something that came up that's not really happening, but it came up. You all know the Versus celebrations that have been happening, right? Yes. Oh, wait. I'm not going to that yet because that's going to take me a long time. I want to talk really quickly about Wendy Williams, who, has taken very ill, and Sherry Shepherd has been named the host of her show permanently, but temporarily permanently, if that makes sense. A temp permanent, she's like a permanent sub in the school. They're there and just available at all times. I saw some pictures of Wendy Williams. Some she looked okay, some she didn't look okay. Then something came out recently about her son, and her son made a point to her, according to the article, this is alleged, that if she doesn't get any help, then he wasn't going to be in her life anymore. And so that sounds like there's a mixture of things happening. And you all know Wendy Williams, or maybe you don't know, she has had a history in the past of drug use, etc., like many other people, drug use, alcohol use, or whatever. And so I'm really hoping and praying that whatever little Kevin Jr. is speaking on, gets resolved. There's no way you would not want a relationship with your own child, especially at this point in her life when things have gone really sour with her husband. Hey, Patrice, and and all that. So that certainly, I'm just wishing her well. I just wanted to put her name in the atmosphere and say that I'm wishing her well. I know not everybody likes Wendy Williams because of the gossip or whatever. I think she can be a funny person at times. And sometimes I think she goes too far, but I definitely would never wish ill upon anyone. And so I hope that whatever's going on between her and her son gets back repaired. Because definitely, she's been grieving anyway since her mother was, passed. Since her, just what? Hold on, what's my mom saying? She should cut Kevin. Yeah, it's so much. It's so much. I don't know all the details. I just know that that's what the son said, and so that leads me to believe that some drug use is involved again. So anyway, I'm just praying for Wendy Williams because I would hate to see her go out like this, literally. But I'm telling you, that raggedy situation between her and that raggedy situation of an ex-husband, I'm sure this is contributing to her physical demise. I'm sure it is, because when that stuff get to wear on you and stressing and everything, next thing you know, stuff just starts shutting down. So I'm wishing all the best for her. All right, let me go to this versus. This is not a versus that's actually happening, but this was a versus discussion about Mariah Carey and Beyonce. It's something that has come up before. And I keep saying this is a mismatch. First of all, they're not even of the same generation. I don't even understand why people are saying this, but it further lets me know how unmusically inclined most people are, or how much they really don't understand. I've always said that the best verses for Mariah would be Toni Braxton. Both of them have an incredible catalog. Both of them have incredible ballads. They also both have incredible, like, fun kind of, girly party songs. And again, both of them have albums that cover a span of years. And I think that would be the best matchup, would be Toni and Mariah. That's it. I don't think Beyonce needs to even be in a conversation of a versus right now in her life, because versus is kind of reaching back a little bit. If she was going to do a versus, fine. It would have to be with somebody like Rihanna. It would just have to be somebody, and she's younger than Beyonce, but it'll have to be somebody that's a little bit. Mariah is not. Anyway, I am here to talk about this because I am not here for the Mariah Carey slander. I'm not here for it. I want to remind y'all of who Mariah Carey is and what she does and what she has and what she has accomplished. Mariah Carey met the world singing Vision of Love. And if you don't remember that song, I need you to go on the YouTube right now. I need you to go somewhere right now and pull that video up. That is the most incredible song and breakout vocal performance of an artist ever. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mariah Carey came into this world with Vision of Love. She didn't come in with some kind of weak little song. So I am not here for the Mariah Carey slander. I don't care if Mariah Carey couldn't open her mouth right now and sing a note. I don't care about that. We can't base that off of that. And see, a lot of you get kind of caught up. So we're watching all these verses and we're watching all of these people pull back. There's a lot of people who couldn't sing at the end of their days, okay? Auntie Aretha Franklin was struggling getting some notes out toward the end. Patty don't always hit all her high notes either at the end. I'm not saying Mariah Carey's their age, but Mariah Carey has been through some different things in her life that has caused, some different things going on her. But what I am saying is I'm not here for the Mariah slander. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mariah Carey is unbelievably accomplished. That woman has an octave range in her throat that most people cannot even pluck out on a piano. Period. I believe, I could be wrong, that she has either a 7 or 8 octave range voice. There's only a few people in the world that got that. Okay? Just a few. And she's one of them. So I'm not here for the Mariah Carey slander. Okay? Again, I don't care that Mariah Carey had that bad performance y'all keep playing on TV when she was singing All I Want for Christmas Is You and she was croaking and all. I don't care about that. That's not what versus is about. Versus is not necessarily to celebrate what the person is doing now. It is to celebrate who they are and what they have done. Mariah Carey has had an incredible career. Her catalog of ballads, her catalog of collaborations. Some of y'all forgot she did Breakdown with Bone until Bone Thugs-n-Harmony was on Versus the other day. It was like, oh, they did a song with Mariah. Listen, I'm not here for the Mariah Carey slander. I'm not here for it. I'm not saying I don't like Beyonce, but what I hear people say, oh, she would crush Mariah. No. I'm not here for it. I am not here for it. I will not allow Mariah Carey slander on my timeline on Facebook, on IG, on Twitter, on Snapchat, or on TikTok. Mariah Carey is an incredible vocalist. She can do things with her voice that most people cannot fathom to do, even with an actual instrument. And I say that because your voice is an instrument also. But I will not allow it. I want y'all to go look up Mariah Carey. Adrian, you hear what I'm saying? I want y'all to go look at Mariah Carey. I just want you to pull up Vision of Love, and I want you to close your eyes and think about, who have you ever heard sing a breakout song like that? Don't tell me about nobody in their prime. I'm talking about somebody who the world did not know. And she came out and sang Vision of Love, and people was closing their eyes trying to guess, is this woman black? Is she white? Is she, what is she? That woman is incredible. There's only a few people that's going to get close to her vocally. And no, she does not have the stage presence of Beyonce. She's never been that person. Mariah Carey has never been a dancer. Y'all see in that Honey? Y'all remember the Honey video? Y'all remember that? And it's just like honey. This was her signature move in that video. She ain't never been no dancer. We're not arguing about that. We're not arguing about that at all. I'm not arguing about that. But what I am saying is, the people who are out here saying that Mariah Carey cannot hold a candle to Beyonce must be drinking the liquid form of the highest, most potent drug available out on the streets. I won't have the Mariah Carey slander. Okay? I won't have it. I will not have it. Mariah Carey has been through a lot in her life. Okay? She's been through a lot. She's been with a lot of different husbands or different men that I guess took advantage of her. She didn't always have together. I think sometimes she did have a breakdown, like the song she did with Bone. She's been through a lot, similar to Janet, have been through a lot also. But I won't deal with it. So y'all gonna come up off Mariah Carey about, and I'm saying that because Mariah Carey made a comment. She made a comment about doing the verses. Okay, Mike. She made a comment about doing the verses, and people thought it was her giving shade to Beyonce. And it could have been. I don't know. I really don't care. But what I am saying is, y'all not going to slander Mariah Carey's name or who she is and her legacy. Period. I don't care if she went and cut her vocal cords out right now and said she would never sing again. That does not discredit everything that woman has. I'm going to give you another example of this is what I'm talking about. Y'all know Whitney Houston couldn't sing at the end like she did. But we're not slandering Whitney, so we're not going to slander Mariah. And that would have been the premium matchup, although Whit is older than Mariah. But that would have been the creme de la creme, okay? To have the two of them going up against each other. Because Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston have been seen on several award shows together, and people like, yeah, come on. A clip popped up of them the other day giving out an award somewhere, a couple years ago. But the point is, we can't always base this off of someone's condition now, okay? Bobby Brown was a great singer. He don't have the same vocals he had before because of alcohol, drugs, life, stress, right? But I'm not going to discredit Tenderoni. Come on now. Y'all can't do that to people. Casey and JoJo were incredible singers, but I'm not going to discredit Baby Won't You Just Stay and Forever My Lady because Casey and JoJo is out here singing about chicken wings now and they can't even jump up and down properly. I'm not going to do that. Mom, Bobby Brown was a good singer. Don't come on here with that. Yes, he was. I want you to go back also, vocally listen to him singing. I want you to listen to him singing. That's probably why he was never satisfied in New Edition, because he wasn't getting the shine that Ralph was getting. And Bobby Brown could sing. He could sing. He started the group anyway. Anyway, I digress. My point is, we cannot be critical about where somebody is right now in their life compared to where they were before. We celebrated DMX, And DMX was nowhere near what he was before. We celebrate these people, and the celebratory moments have nothing to do with where they are right now. We're talking about the span of their career. So Mariah Carey and Toni Braxton is the only verses that make sense to me in the realm of Mariah and in the realm of Toni. And that's only because Whitney Houston is gone. If Whitney Houston was not gone, this would be a different conversation. But I'm also waiting for them to put together the Prince and the Michael Jackson one. I know they're not here. But they can do it. It don't even have to be holograms. I'm just saying, I just want the DJs to go back and forth with their songs and battle it out. I want to see that. We deserve to see that, just like we deserve to see like maybe a Luther and a Teddy P. I know some of these people aren't here, but we can still honor them by doing it. But before I leave, we're not going to no more Mariah Carey slander. Okay? You understand? No more. No mas. Mariah doesn't deserve that. Vision of Love was the most incredible breakout artist single ballad performance of our time. Okay? No more. Don't slander Mariah anymore. All right. Here's the last thing I want to say. I really want to thank everybody for supporting Blessing Bags and Beyond. If you don't know what Blessing Bags and Beyond is, please find my page. I have Blessing Bags and Beyond on Facebook, on IG, and on Twitter, where I give bags with hygiene items to people in need. I give it through churches, through organizations. This is not the last thing I'm going to say. I got one more thing to say. Recently, I've been working on the back end because I received a grant to create a pantry box and do some other things. So I'm working really hard behind the scenes to get some things done. Trying not to overshare, because sometimes when I overshare, I get discouraged about, people who may or may not support or whatever. And then sometimes I get discouraged if it's not going as fast as I want it to. But I want to thank you for your support, and I ask that you just go to the page and support it. Send everybody to the pages to support it. And those of you who don't know, also my daughters have been making candles. We haven't made any in a while, but we have a good set in stock. It's called TT&T Candles and Gifts. TT&T Candles and Gifts is on Facebook and it's on Instagram. We are not shipping yet. So if you're out of town, that's something we'll think about in the summertime. But right now we're just doing local sales. So the candles are anywhere ranging from $5 to $10. That's kind of like small, medium, large size, like $5, $7, $10. Right now we have a good bundle sale. If you get the $5 ones, if you bundle 5 of them, you can get them for $21. So let us know if you are interested, and thank you for your support. I just want you all to go like these pages, subscribe to these pages. Same thing with my YouTube channel. Adrian, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. Yeah, sure. I don't know Celine's her catalog like that. But Celine has some great songs though. Don't get me wrong. I've always loved Celine Dion. I don't know her catalog like that, but I mean that might be a viable contender too. Sure. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is Lovecraft Country. I want to apologize to any person who has ever told me to watch Lovecraft Country, starting with Tanisha Johnson, who is not just my coworker, but she is a friend of mine. She has been on my head for years about watching Lovecraft Country. And I just started a couple days ago, and I just finished this morning. This is the most incredible show I have ever seen on screen in my whole life. I am almost 42. I have never seen anything this well put together visually, the script, the emotions. This show is amazing. If you don't know what Lovecraft Country is, it is based off of a book. This book it's like sci-fi thriller, but it's a huge Black history manuscript. I have never seen our history depicted in a way like this except for the show called Underground. Now, I will say this. If you are not a fan of borderline scary stuff, because there's some scary stuff that pops up in here, because Lovecraft Country is sci-fi, it's thriller, it's horror, it's Black history. It's an amazing show. But there are some moments that you might be like, oh my gosh. And I say that because my best friend, Crystal Bailey, she stopped watching it because she don't do horror stuff at all. And I keep telling her, you got to push through for the history element, but I digress. This show is incredible. I have never seen anything like this. You know, this is the show that was canceled that had 18 nominations. So between the Emmys and the Golden Globes, the show got 18 nominations, yet it was still canceled. But I know why it was canceled. It's the same reason Underground was canceled. It's the same reason many of our great shows that depict African Americans thriving, depicts our history in a truth-telling way, that people don't want to see it go on. They would rather see us fighting and scratching each other's eyes out and doing other ridiculous things. But this show is incredible. And I am sorry I waited so long. And now that I'm done, I'm going to start over and I'm going to watch it again. What I'm going to do. I'm going to watch it again. And I'm going to download it at some point if I can purchase it and download it to have it in my wheelhouse, because this show is incredible. Every single person on there is incredible. Jonathan Majors, Journey Smollett, Michael K. Williams, who you all know, passed away, I think by suicide. I think it was officially ruled suicide not too long ago. Courtney Vance, Anjanae Ellis. Great cast. And although Michael K. Williams is not there anymore, I definitely believe that this show can go on without him. And so I'm waiting for some incredible people to pick this show up. It's on HBO. So if you don't have HBO, HBO Max, that's where you can watch it. Unless there's some versions on YouTube that y'all can probably download and look at. But this show is incredible. You have never seen the Tulsa riots depicted like this, when they burned that Black community to the ground because we were thriving. You have never seen just so many incredible moments in Black history depicted the way that this show is doing it. It's brilliant. And I've never seen Black history weaved into sci-fi with magic and horror and in such a way either. I've never seen it. So this show is in a league of its own, and it definitely makes me want to go read the book now. Definitely. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm just looking forward to relaxing. These next 2 weeks off are just going to be a time to reflect seriously, because it's been a difficult journey being back in school full time. It's been a lot of challenges that we face, but I'm just going to try to enjoy this time off with family and friends, and do the things I want to do and be where I want to be, and all of those things without feeling any kind of stress or whatever, because it's hard times right now. It's hard times. So anyway, it's 5:05. So I am done with Sound Off Saturday, y'all. I hope and pray. Those of you on Facebook, you still see my background. Do you know what my background is? It's the Golden Girls living room. I don't have it on IG, but maybe I'll do it next time. Next year for 2022, I did say I'm going to evaluate what I'm going to do on Sound Off Saturdays. It may not be every Saturday. Life is picking back up. Things are getting busy again. Schedules are getting tight. So I just want to make sure that, I don't overextend myself and do too much, but I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Those of you who celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a great Kwanzaa. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate. I know Diwali has passed, Hanukkah, whatever holidays you celebrate. I hope and pray that you have just a great time with your family and you just reflect and try not to let stress and anxiety and pressure and everything get to you. We need 2022 to be a great year, because 2020 was beyond rough, and 2021, in my opinion, was like a variant of 2020. It was just like part B. I don't think 2021 was really its own year, but I need 2022 to be its own year. I need it to be better. I need to see some bright spots, and I hope that, we just keep moving forward in the world, but definitely in our country, and making some serious things happen, especially for educators. And yes, I'm being biased because I'm an educator, but educators need some support and help. I hate to see that there's a principal at LeBron James's school who slapped a student. There's never an okay situation. There's never a situation where you say, oh yeah, she should have slapped him. The only situations you can put your hands on students that I'm aware of is when you are performing handle with care. But if somebody slap you, that means you said something smart. So some student must have really pushed her buttons, and it's sad because LeBron James' school is great. But I know she's on the edge, as many educators are. And I just pray that all educators take this break and really take this time. So I have a feeling, I'm just be honest, I have a feeling that's going to be a lot of people that may or may not return to school. And then that's going to put a lot of stress and strain on the educators that are already there. So thank y'all for joining me for I want to thank y'all for joining me for Sound Off Saturdays, period, in 2020 and 2021. If you didn't know me back then, if you were just getting to know me now, some of you have been coming since day one. Some of you jumped in later. It doesn't matter. I just thank you for joining me. It's fun to do these, to kind of talk and chum up and get some things off my chest. It doesn't matter to me if it's 2 people on here, if it's 20 people on here, or 200 people on here. I love the discussion. I get lots of commentary coming back. This gives me great practice too for public speaking, because many of you know I'm a preacher, but I'm also a teacher. I've been called to speak at many events that are even just not preaching. So this gives me an opportunity to really perfect like a lot of public speaking techniques and skills and different things like that. Plus, it's just fun to talk about fun stuff and serious things also. So I want y'all to go check out Lovecraft Country. Mike, have you seen Lovecraft Country? Because if you have not, you don't even know what you're missing. All right, y'all. I hope you have a great, 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 great rest of your weekend. And I definitely pray you have a great holiday season, because the next time I'm on here, it will be January 1st if I choose to get on New Year's Day. Wow, that's crazy. All right, y'all. Take care. Bye.